The Clone Wars still continue ever onward, and our journey now takes us into a much talked about arc in Season 5, so come with me as I continue to watch through the Clone Wars for the first time. Well, hello there! My name's Jeremy and welcome back to Freeform Disney, where I talk about all aspects of Disney, from the animated movies to the theme parks to Star Wars, Marvel, and Pixar, and the TV shows, and everything else in between. And that is why it's Freeform. And keep coming back every day for new daily content. If you're not subscribed yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Now it's time to watch the big Darth Maul arc of Season 5, so let's jump on in. We start up with the episode Revival, which is actually the first episode of Season 5. The arc is actually broken up if you watch it in chronological order. So we start out by seeing some more brutal attacks by Savage and Darth Maul. And did they kill some new Jedi in that blurb? Went by quick, but I'm not sure if that was new or just old scenes right there. Might have been something new. And then, well, heck, we get this opening scene with them, well, just smashing some security droids, which probably is easy work for Darth Maul and Savage, I would have to imagine. What's more interesting is the brief power struggle we actually get between the two brothers. Savage just wants to share power as brothers between the two of them, but Maul, very much the Sith, wants to be master and apprentice, and, well, he's much stronger than his brother, and it's not much of a fight, let's just put it that way. And from here on out, he doesn't call him brother, nor even really Savage. It's apprentice, my apprentice, my apprentice. Kind of demeaning when it really comes down to it. It's like, dang. But Darth Maul is Darth Maul, right? Poor Savage. Well, and then we see our other two people, because good old Master Gallia and Master Obi-Wan Kenobi are investigating, and they're hot on their trail. And where does that trail take everybody? Over to Florum. It's pirate time, so that means Hondo's coming back in. Now, one interesting note about our Sith as we're going through, it's interesting how everybody keeps assuming the Sith are Jedi. Back to, if you're just some other person in the galaxy, you don't see the big separation that all of us do. And of course, by the way, in this case, the Jedi and the Sith both take huge offense at being assumed that the Sith are Jedi. But all of that, of course, works heavily right with Palpatine. Because that way, anything the Sith does reflects badly on the Jedi. Oh, it's so insidious when you look at things like that, too. It's like, what a mess. And what's worse is, a whole bunch of Sith are ex-Jedi anyway, so that line gets a little blurred just a bit there. Well, anywho, what's Darth Maul's plan? Well, it's time to become not just Sith Lords, but Crime Lords. And he starts turning Hondo's lieutenants to become his own people. And Hondo's reaction, oh, loved it. Hondo, I'm so betrayed, but I'm also proud of them for being good pirates. And the over-the-top way he does it, of course. Love Hondo. And speaking of Hondo, Obi-Wan's conversation with Hondo, also a delight. They've always interacted well and played off each other, and, still fun. Well, at any rate, Obi-Wan and Gallia go ahead and offer to help deal with the Sith and head on down there. Surprise, surprise. Obi-Wan's got a good little line with Maul as he gets down there. Throwing in with pirates now. How the mighty Sith have fallen. Ooh. Although, not really falling in with pirates, you're taking them over. It's a bit different. Splitting hairs? Who cares? So now it's time for a big fight between Master Obi-Wan and Master Gallia and Darth Maul and Savage. And they start together at first, and then they split up, so we pair off, and we have Obi-Wan versus Maul and Gallia versus Savage. And, we got some good music up for this, good old chorus going. Very, very nice. And then Savage kills Master Gallia, and whoa, did not see that one coming right there. Wow. And Obi-Wan is forced to retreat, and he goes off into the cave section over with Hondo. And heck, even Hondo's going, whoa, they're too powerful even for you. I am semi-speechless. Yeah, not that speechless, buddy. You keep talking and talking as Hondo does. But yeah, for Hondo knowing the strength of Obi-Wan, yeah, that would certainly get to you a little. Well, Obi-Wan distracts the Sith one way, Hondo goes ahead and gets to have some fun with his men, and big cannon, lures him into a trap and an ambush, and hey, he gets his men back. Woohoo! Meanwhile, Obi-Wan, well, 2-on-1. And by the way, I gotta say, the lightsaber fights here seem higher quality than in the past. Maybe more choreography in it? I'm not sure what it is. It just has a feel of it to me. Well, Obi-Wan pulls it off and actually takes off one of Savage's arms, which, dang, impressive. And Maul and Savage run, and hey, they run into the pirates who have, well, now turned on them, and hey, one more good Hondo line here. Because Maul tries accusing him of insolence toward the Sith. Oh, Hondo, insolence? We're pirates. We don't even know what that is. Oh, nice. Can't get enough Hondo right there. And hell, the pirates, they even succeeded taking out one of Maul's legs with all their gunfire. Blaster fire. How did I just say gunfire? Long day. Well, let's just call it that way. Well, anyway, whole thing ends with Maul and Savage starting to get away in a ship, but then it gets blasted by the pirates and, well, the ship crashes. So we kind of assume that it's downed and that they are dead and vaporized. Although, let's be honest, no one's really thinking that, nor is Obi-Wan really thinking that. But especially at Palpatine's insistence back over on Coruscant, well, guess what? This is a personal matter, and it's not important for the Republic. The Republic doesn't give a shit whether Darth Maul and Savage are actually alive and wreaking havoc out there or not, because they're not doing anything specifically against the Republic, so who cares? And the Jedi acquiesce. Although, heck, we end on a shot of Palpatine by himself grinning evilly and mischievously. Yeah. Again, it still plays into everything for him. Sith going out there and wreaking havoc. That makes it look like the Jedi are wreaking havoc. On top of that, if they actually cause more problems for the Jedi and Obi-Wan, etc., that's also, again, still good for Palpatine. So, yeah. Well, so this episode, definitely good. And, oh man, I have missed this superb quality of an episode for this season so far. Don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed the other arcs of the season. But this is just at a level above what any of those other arcs were at. The action in this one, top notch, good lightsaber fights, etc. The characters and how they were portrayed. I mean, heck, look at the characters. We had Darth Maul, we had Savage, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Master Gallia, Hondo was in there. We even see brief bits with Mace Windu, Yoda, and Palpatine at the end. Oh yeah, good times. And also, there were actual consequences in here. I mean, Master Gallia died. Whoa. Yeah. Eesh. Let alone what happens even to our Sith. Anyway, really good episode. And then let's head on over as we continue the arc. So up next we have Eminence. So Darth Maul and Savage are drifting through unknown space, barely alive. Yeah. And who comes across their ship? It's Death Watch. Brave Vizsla? Well, hey, if they're an enemy to the Jedi, I want to hear their story. And so the Mandalorians put them back together, and I've got to say, well, it seems like a logical alliance between them. Although, one hell of a dangerous alliance if you're Death Watch. Throwing in with the Sith? Hell, you already know how dangerous Sith can be. You've been betrayed by them before. But hey, power is power sometimes. And Bo-Katan over there. I love how she can smile like that right after being force choked by Darth Maul, just because, hey, the plan, just what we want. But you just got force choked and you're able to smile so easily? Wow. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And now we run through what feels like a montage, even if it is pretty much the entire rest of the episode. It feels montagey because it goes by so quick and we don't dive in too deeply, but it's now time to get the band together, shall we say. Or to put together this big crime syndicate and pull in all these other groups so as to make them have all the power they need to accomplish their goals. So first off, let's enter the Black Sun Syndicate. And, well, I'm certainly aware of the Black Sun Syndicate from other things within Star Wars, whether it be Shadows of the Empire or whether it also be the Black Sun trilogy back over in the EU. So you've definitely got some familiarity with it later in time. Well, hey, we pressed a that was easy button and just took care of them easily. We just went in there to their council and hey, Darth Maul, Savage, well, we just went ahead and used a lightsaber and killed them all. Boom, done. Maybe a little too easy, but we got them moving right along. We keep seeing power conflicts early on between Pre Vizsla and Darth Maul. Pre Vizsla chafing a little at having Maul take so much charge in this, when he wanted it to be say, more even-keeled at least. And Darth Maul has no interest in that, of course. And nor does he worry about it because he's got the power that he does. And Pre Vizsla is essentially playing along for the time being before he intends to betray him and, well, go his own way, shall we say. And let's bring in our other two groups. So first off, we've got the Pikes, and they come to join them themselves. Don't even have to go force that one. But then the other one we have to force is we're going to go get the Hutts on board. So off to Nal Hutta. Now, unsurprisingly, the Hutts don't concede at first. And there is a big fight down there. We get to see a whole bunch of bounty hunters and mercenaries versus the Sith, and at first just a couple Death Watch who are inside. Until they get outside, and then there is a ton more Death Watch, and of course the whole battle turns, and it is most certainly in their favor. And hey, there's a few bounty hunters we know in there. We've got Embo, cool hat dude. Sugi, the woman we've seen before multiple times, one of our first ones we were introduced to along with Embo. And Lats, who we just met just last season in the end with Ventress and over with Boba Fett. And hey, it was really cool seeing them. And also their fighting styles were really intriguing and definitely very unique. And they held their own pretty decently, actually. Impressively when you think about it. And frankly, especially after the last episode where we killed Master Gallia, I was worried that some of them would end up dying during this. But hey, they all survived. Darth Maul let them live. Because, after all, they're just bounty hunters. Who cares? I'll be honest, I'm happy to have had them live here. Yeah. And I swore I saw Dengar in the background at one point in this. Well, anyway, they win. One of the Hutts escapes, and the other is killed by Savage. The rest were all just kind of there by hologram. We get a kind of fun line there. So the only thing you can tell me is that I will find Jabba at Jabba's palace. Yep. And so off to Tatooine they head to Jabba's palace, and they fight their way in there easily, and, well, then Jabba has the Hutts join them. Again, this was very much a press a that was easy button, a super easy, barely an inconvenience kind of thing, because, dang, this was easier than easy. Then we have a final conversation between Darth Maul and Pre Vizsla, and this is all clearly just a setup for where we're going next, which really, to be honest, the entire episode is just a setup. So we have Darth Maul explain his expanded vision of, hey, yeah, you can rule Mandalore, and I'm going to have a whole galactic underworld that I'm going to rule. And Pre Vizsla makes it clear about how he's going to go kill Darth Maul and Savage during the assaults. Not to Darth Maul, of course, but to his own people. So, yeah, clear setup at the end. But again, getting all these groups together was just that as well, and I'm curious just how much time this whole episode was meant to represent, because clearly this happened over a long period of time to really pull all this together. Now, this one just moved too fast to necessarily be better than the first one, but it was still pretty good right there. Nice quality in it. And we got to see all kinds of different parts of the Star Wars universe, which was cool in its own right. Okay, on to Shades of Reason. It's time for the big attack. So the plan is to go ahead and attack Mandalore, the capital of Sundari, and to use gangsters to attack the different weak points and make Duchess Satine look weak. And so Death Watch can then come in and rescue the people. And well, hey, the different criminal groups start doing a great job of causing fear and havoc on Mandalore. And kind of fun to watch, actually. And Pre Vizsla is winning the war for public sentiment against Duchess Satine. And yeah, Death Watch gets to play the saviors and do a great job of it. Now, I gotta be honest, I think I probably would have rebranded the name to something other than Death Watch when I come in. But, hey, you know, what can you do? Now, to be fair, this whole stretch, again, super condensed, we rushed through it really fast, and it felt, shall we say, a little simplistic? And Duchess Satine was made to look really, really incompetent. I'll be honest, this does not feel like the Duchess Satine we got to know earlier in the show. It just really does not. Well, Death Watch ends up winning, and they take everything over, and hey, they claim Duchess Satine and her advisors ran while holding them in prison because they have other potential uses for them. There was an interesting comment between our old Prime Minister and Duchess Satine while they're both in prison. Interesting little comment on him saying how he kept the people happy by using smugglers, and, well, Satine will have none of it. There's an interesting piece that just felt like we could have explored that further, because there was a point to that. even if the Prime Minister also took a little advantage of it himself. Good old Olmec right there. Yeah, well, anyway. Darth Maul also gets captured, and, well, Darth Maul proves to be quite patient and relaxed while in there. And he's actually happy to be in prison considering the powerful political people there, because he's looking for a new face to work for them, which he kind of planned and figured this was going to happen anyway. And hey, look, Olmec, the old Prime Minister, corrupt and vile. Oh, perfect. And then, well, Darth Maul says that Pre Vizsla is bound by honor and will certainly fight one-on-one if challenged by Darth Maul in front of his people, and because the rules of Mandalore will then mean that the people of Death Watch will then follow whoever wins. Okay. They have a big fight there because it happens just like Darth Maul said, and Pre Vizsla, well, hey, he dies. He gets beaten by Maul and done. I don't know, I used to give Pre Vizsla a little more credit than all that. Heck, Pre Vizsla knew what happened when he fought Obi-Wan. He didn't go and succeed there. Anyway. Yeah. Well, this actually leads to a little conflict within Death Watch here. Because Bo-Katan and a group of the other people, rebels right there, let's call them, I don't know, freedom fighters, Mandalorian loyalists, something, whatever you want to call them. Well, anyway, they go ahead and take huge issue, as heck, no outsider shall rule Mandalore. And we got a little fight there as they run away. And, well, we end with seeing Prime Minister Olmec more than willing to work with Maul and gives us good old story to the people. And then we end on a scene with Olmec and Maul. And this episode, there's a lot I liked about it. There's also a lot that I had issues with. It felt far too rushed, first off, which makes it harder to excuse dumb decisions by characters who should know better. Because sometimes characters make dumb decisions. They just do. I mean, it's real life. You're trying to emulate real life where people don't always make the best decisions. But when you're going so fast, it's hard to give those other pieces going in there that leads to someone making really bad decisions. Yeah. And so ultimately, Pre Vizsla, just not the Pre Vizsla I remember to that degree, and certainly Duchess Satine, just really not. And those were the two spots that I had the biggest issue with on this episode. Everything else? Oh, I loved everything else. Getting to see the criminals wreak havoc on Mandalore, and getting to watch Death Watch come in there as the saviors, and all the little machinations going on. No, the rest of it was really good. And the quality on all that kind of stuff was nicely up there. So yeah, this is the weakest one for me at this point. But let's note, even while I call it the weakest, it's still really good, and even compared to the rest of the season, it's, right up there. Right up there, up near the top of the season, even with my issues with this one. Okay, time for the final episode. And first off, we got a little in memory of Ian Abercrombie. I knew the voice for Palpatine, Ian Abercrombie, ended up dying, and, well, apparently it's somewhere around this time period right here. Which means enter Tim Curry, who's going to become the new voice for Palpatine for the rest of Clone Wars. Hey, see, there's a little bit I do know, even having not paid too much attention. Or tried not to pay too much attention, let's say. Okay, so let's see, some cool things here. Early on, we have Corky pop in and rescue Satine. And Corky looks clearly older in this one. And that's kind of cool to see him again there. And we also get that section of old Death Watch in there. And they fight a losing fight, to be sure, but they succeed in getting Satine far enough out that she can send a message to Obi-Wan via the Jedi Council. Well, the Jedi, unsurprisingly, can't be involved, but Obi-Wan, he sure as hell is not gonna not come when it's Duchess Satine in trouble. Which really was the hope by Darth Maul. Darth Maul wanted Obi-Wan to come over to Mandalore. And Obi-Wan obligingly comes and breaks Satine out of prison. They almost make it off, but the ship gets taken down, and then Darth Maul captures them. No big surprises here. We get an interesting little conversation between Obi-Wan and Maul. Not as deep as I would like, but we get some nice posturing between the two. You can kill me, but you will never destroy me. It takes strength to resist the dark side. Only the weak embrace it. You know, that kind of stuff. And, well, Darth Maul then does roughly what you would expect, and kills Satine in front of Obi-Wan. Remember, my dear Obi-Wan, I've always loved you. And death. And goodbye to Satine. Satine goes out not with a bang, but with a whimper. Yeah. A character that was built up so strong early on just was not treated well with this arc. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying killing her is mistreating her in that sense. You can certainly kill off a character and still have treated them well. But, this. Well, Darth Maul wants to go ahead and let Obi-Wan drown in his misery down in prison. But he gets broken out really bloody fast with Bo-Katan and the other Mandalorian rebels, making yet another breakup. But I'm pretty sure Maul didn't want this one. And, well, hey, Obi-Wan gets off the planet with Bo-Katan's help. And with Bo-Katan knowing that will lead to an invasion of Mandalore because she wants that at this point in time. Because, hey, Mandalore has gone through worse before and it always comes out. And we find out that Bo-Katan was Satine's sister. Now, they sure as hell did not see eye to eye, that's for sure. Yeah. Yeah, but we just didn't give any chance for Obi-Wan to really explore the impact of Satine's death. And that just is a waste at that point. We established how big a relationship the two had, and to not really see that impact on Obi-Wan. Yeah, anyway, let's move on. Okay, so Palpatine heads to Mandalore. Now this, don't get to see Palpy go out very often as Sidious, let alone have a lightsaber duel. Darth Maul tries to say, yeah, I'm just here to do things and always be the apprentice you wanted me to be, yeah. Palpatine, of course, takes none of that. Right, sure. You're attempting to deceive me, and you become a rival, and slams Darth Maul and Savage up against a wall. Dang. And this ends up leading to a giant lightsaber duel between the three. And it goes and goes, and very nice. And this is a two-handed lightsaber duel for Palpatine. He's got double lightsabers going, and just how many different styles of lightsaber duels Palpatine is really good at. How intriguing. Well, in the end, Palpatine kills Savage. That's the end of him right there. Whew. Savage's final line just is so fitting and sad for Savage. Brother, I'm an unworthy apprentice. I'm not like you. I never was. Yeah, poor Savage. What a mess. And Palpatine evilly laughing over in the background. And, well, after clearly then losing to Palpatine after his brother's death, Maul begs for mercy. Well, there is no mercy. There's only Force lightning, everyone. Yeah. But hey, Palpatine's not going to kill Maul, because hey, he's got other uses for him. And the episode there ends with evil laugh and more Force lightning. Yo. Wow. Yeah. That was a dark ending with Palpatine right there. Now, the Palpatine stuff especially made this episode. I'll also say Bo-Katan is clearly being set up as someone we'll see more of in the future. Just the way she's been handled and treated here, you're clearly expanding on a character. Even if I hadn't heard anything in the comments. Now, this episode, I would say, is probably the second favorite for me on this arc. That first one's still going to take the best. And that really, I think a lot of it comes down to, it just felt rushed in these episodes. And I think that's my biggest problem. Whatever I might have complaints on characterization or things that didn't get handled well or characters not acting like themselves, all of that I think could have worked better if you'd had the time to show why those kind of decisions were made or why they didn't act like I would expect them to have acted. And I just don't think there was time to do it. Same with dealing with Obi-Wan and Satine's death. And there just wasn't time. So maybe this should have been broken into two different arcs. Maybe that would have helped. Or something. I don't know. Just my thoughts off the top of my head. So there was a lot of good stuff in this arc. There really was. And a lot that I really liked. And certainly at this point, it is the best arc of the season. I have no question on that. But it could have been so much better. For me, there's no comparison between this and, say, the Umbara arc. The Umbara arc is far superior for me. But this arc could have been up at that level. So there's my tricky opinion on this one. As much as I may say I have some issues there, but sometimes I have the most issues with the things I love the most, and because I know what it could have been. Or what it could have been for me anyways. So maybe these aren't problems for you at all, but for me it did. But still, so good. So good at the same time. Well, anyway, this was, again, an overall quality higher than anything we've seen through the rest of Season 5 yet. And I quite enjoyed it, and I'm hoping this final arc of the season can go ahead and top it and be my favorite for the season. So, here goes nothing, right? And hey, it's that time, so let me ask the ever-popular, what about you? What did you think about this Maul arc? And which of the deaths in here surprised you the most, as there were certainly some deaths that surprised me? Let me know down below in the comments. And thanks for watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to click a like, share it with anyone you think will too, and subscribe if you haven't done it already. And I'll see you back here again tomorrow for another new episode of Freeform Disney. Have a magical day, and may the Force be with you. Always.